Hey guys, Mr. Werner here. I'm here to talk to you about our new practice schedule for this year. So with practice, instead of doing minutes, we're basing it on repetitions. So you need to do a number of repetitions. And I'm here to show you how easy this is to do. So the first thing, you need to have some way to keep track of the repetitions you're going to do. So I have this app called Tally Counters on my phone. And it has, and I can add on here my practice, all right, now when sorry, it's asking me to update all of a sudden. All right, so now I pull up my practice and it just has here, so I can easily keep track of what the repetitions I've done. All right, now all practice starts first with long tones. So I'm going to start with some nice B-flat scale. And that counts as a repetition, so I would mark that down as a repetition. Now, you could do more than one long tone thing, lip slurs or other things. That'd be great. Okay, next thing we always do is technique. Technique consists of scales. That'd be a great thing to do for technique. We'll also learn other technique exercises this year, and you're welcome to do those. So I'm going to choose a scale that's hard for me. That's the most important thing. We're not just doing things that we know. We're doing things that we don't know. So I am not super familiar with the concert G-flat scale for clarinet, so I'm going to try this out. All right, now those first three notes were a little tricky with the fingering, so I'm going to do them again. Guess what? That already counted as repetition, so I'm going to mark it. That felt a little better. Repetition. Alright, so I just got 3 more repetitions in there, and I solidified my fingerings. Alright, so I'm going to move on. Ooh, and I made a mistake, so let me figure out that one. That was it, and that was actually 2 more repetitions. So see, this is going fast. Good, so I got it going up. I'm going to do another repetition. Notice I'm not doing big chunks of music. I can do more repetitions if I do small chunks of music and do them over and over. Oh, I made that mistake again. Whoops. That is a repetition solo. I better just do that section a few times to make sure I really got it. See how quickly I just did 5 repetitions? That was easy, getting repetitions down like crazy. Okay, that was repetition. Now you notice I kind of hesitated coming down, so I'm going to find that spot where I hesitated, and I'm going to practice that because that fingering thing was difficult for me. So there was those 2 notes that were difficult for me. And notice I went back and forth between the 2 notes 5 times. Oh yeah, my repetition's already up to 22. I've only been practicing for a couple minutes here. So now I'm going to put it back into context. Ooh, that was a bad sound. right, 3 more repetitions. Starting to feel more confident. Notice the more repetitions I do, the better I get at it, and the more consistent I get. Okay, now I'm going to do the whole thing. Alright, awesome. So I just practiced the 12 major scales and did long tones for a little bit, and I'm already up to 26 repetitions after one scale. Okay, next on your practice, you're going to be asked to do stuff from your method book. Now, you don't have to go in order where that says on the practice log. You can go method book or to song. Pass-offs definitely should be a priority too, and we'll look at that in just a second. Alright, so I'm going to practice today number 164, Essential Elements Quiz. This is also a pass-off for later on, so some of you might be on this. So, Essential Elements Quiz. This one has a tricky rhythm, so I'm going to count and clap the rhythm to start. I'm going to tap my toe with the down and up. 1 and 2 and 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 1. So I got a repetition there, but that ending part was difficult for me. So I'm going to just look at that ending part and count and clap it a couple of times. So the last 2 measures, that was the tricky part. Here we go. Ready, go, and 2 and 1 and 2 and that felt better. I'm going to do that again. Ready, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and so that's already 2 more times. Now the real trick was coming into it. So I want to practice that, the last 3 measures, and coming into it and doing it all together. Last 3 measures. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Okay, that felt good. Let me do that a few more times though. Remember, the key is repetition, so we make habits and we get more consistent and get better. So here it is again. Ready, go, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Good. All right, let me do that one more time. I think I'm feeling good. Ready, go, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. Good. And notice I did it 3 times. 3 times is like the minimum you really want to do something if you want to remember it all the time. Okay, 3 times. Let's always do that, but more is even better. So I'm going to add on those times. Now, instead of going back to the beginning of the song when I play, the smart thing would be I just did that part, counting and clapping. Let me go play that part. So here's the last 3 measures. Ready, and. Good. Now I got the rhythm of that time. If I didn't, it'd be perfectly fine to go back and clap and count the rhythm again. That'd be great. Did notice though there was a little pause and a hesitation between the last 2 notes. So I'm going to add my repetition here so I don't forget. You know, you could also mark down repetitions with a pencil on your paper too. That'd be perfectly fine. But now I'm going to go and just do those last 2 notes. Oh man, a bunch of repetitions already. Okay, so now I'm going to put it back into context. Here we go. Last 3 measures. Ready, go. And okay, feeling pretty good about that. Now remember, I need to do repetitions though. Don't want to just do it once. So I want to get it multiple times to remember it next time. So let me do at least 2 more times. I kind of had a little squeak there from my tongue. It was a little weird. So I'm going to do it a couple more times. Ready, go. That was better. Whoops. Oh, and I got distracted by something going on, and I totally messed up, so I better do it again. There we go. Ooh, weird squeak again. My key's stuck a bit, I think. I don't know. Maybe it was my tongue. I better find out. Practice some more. All right, now over this whole thing, I've done way more repetitions. Okay? And you know, sometimes I do the repetitions so fast, I get kind of lost in how many repetitions I've done, but I just kind of do my best guess sometimes. The most important thing is get the repetition. So if you're not sure if it's 5 or 6, it's okay. Just put down what you think it should be. I just want you to repeat stuff as much as you can. All right, so now I've done the whole thing. I'm going to go and, well, I've done those last 3 measures. Now it's time to do the whole thing. All right, here we go. Ooh, I'm going to pause right there because there was a problem. I had troubles going between those 2 notes. Now, that was a repetition, so I'm going to add that on. But those 2 notes going between A and B, so I'm going to practice those. Alright, look at that. Just like that, like 10 more repetitions. Super fast. Alright, so now let me put it into context. I'm not going to go back to the beginning. I'm going to start at that measure where I had the problem. Here we go. Ready, and... Oh, yeah, that was a good one. Now I want to do it multiple times, though, so I can make sure I can always do it consistently. Ready, go. Alright, so I'm starting to get much better there. So now I'm going to do the whole thing. See how it goes. Beginning. Ready, and... Alright, that went really well. Now, I'll add my repetition on there. I should really probably go do it a few more times, you know, just to make some consistency. If this is something I really want to know and be able to do all the time, especially if it's a pass-off, you want to do that at least 2, 3, 4, 5 times so that when you go to do it for smart music, you can just nail it. All right, now the final thing I want to look at with you is a concert song. I pulled out Thriller that we played in summer band. Those of you who didn't do summer band, you missed out. All right, so when I have a concert song here, the best way to go about practicing a concert song is not to just play the whole thing straight through. It's to identify the parts where you have problems. So even if you've never played the song before, you can look at this part up here and be like, those notes don't look that hard. I probably don't have to practice those right away. I could, let me start with the hard stuff first. So I'm looking down through, and okay, there's some tricky rhythm stuff all of a sudden starting in measure 22. So I'm going to start there. Now, and then again, I would follow my procedure, count and clap, because the rhythm's a little tricky. I could also, let me show you another technique that could count for your practice. So let's pretend I've already counted and clapped. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, well actually let me count and clap at once to show you. So here's measure 22. Ready, go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1. And I'm only going to take that small chunk. That was 4 measures. Good place to stop. I could even do less. Notice the smaller the chunk, the more repetitions you get. And I got to add a repetition there because I did that. So now I'm going to take my instrument and I'm going to count and finger. This is a great technique to help align the counting with your fingers, especially if you're having trouble with that rhythm. So I'm going to put my instrument up to my mouth still. Maybe just rest it on my chin so I can count. Ready, go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 1. Now I don't think you could see my fingers on the bottom hand, but I was moving, so for every note I was moving down when I counted. Instead of doing the clapping, doing when I counted, doing the fingering. So that's a great technique right there. So that's a repetition. Do that, and again, I want to do that multiple times. You know, I'll do that 3, 4, 5 times, then go play the song. And look how many repetitions I'm up to already. 62 I've practiced for 15 minutes now and 62 repetitions. You can do this. Whoa, the lights just turned out on me. I guess we better stop.